As of 2013, 58.4% of Volusia County property owners pay only 13.5% of the total property taxes levied in our county. The taxable value of these properties are $50,000 and below. This is because of exemptions like Save Our Homes, 2 homestead exemptions, portability, etc. That means the remaining 41.6% of property owners are stuck with 86.5% of the property tax bill. How do you feel about charging fees for services to replace some or all property taxes, which could be more equitable?
I'd have no problem with adding fees as long as we fully remove that part of their line item from our budget. I don't want to create an additional level of tax over what they're already getting. We don't need more sources to fund these issues. We need to go about this in a more economic manner. And I agree with you about some of the reasons why the taxable value is really skewed towards where it is because of the property values and the exemptions. But I'd argue that the property values are as low as they are because of the makeup of our economy. We have a very thin economy in Volusia County. It's based primarily on tourism and big events, and the big events only take place during certain times of the year, and the tourism jobs tend to have lower incomes. And when you have lower incomes, you have lower property values. What we need is to diversify our economy by bringing in technology, manufacturing, higher paying jobs that can lift the whole county by bringing usually people that have higher incomes are buying bigger houses that have more value, and when you have that, that also lifts the economy and puts more money into the tax base. And then the commercial side, which we're really missing, they pay much higher taxes, and they can carry a much bigger load of the tax base in this county, where we could lower the tax level, the millage rate on our individual homeowners.
Why did the county need to raise property taxes this year over 5% when the total of all fund balances at all times has been a minimum of $391 million and a maximum of $461 million for the last 4 quarters? Also, it is recommended by accounting principle and standards that reserves should only be from 10 to 15%.
Yeah, well, I agree, especially with what you added at the end. I'm in the professional sector. I'm a certified financial planner, and we're looking at companies. Usually that's what their reserves center around 10-15%. So the quick answer to what you said is they didn't need to raise taxes. Obviously, they have that much revenue on the books that they're having these different reserve accounts. They could manage that a lot better. In my world, again, the private sector, when a company misses their earnings report by 1 or 2 pennies, it really has a negative impact on the stock value, because they know with the large size of these entities, they can move money around from one area to the other to meet their earnings reports. Well, obviously, our local government can learn a lot from the private sector, because that's more than a few pennies that they're carrying on the books. And they have the ability, which they've shown in the past, to move monies from these different areas into the general fund and back whenever they need to. So obviously they have something else that's out there that we're not privy to at this time. I don't know why they would be carrying those levels of cash on the books.
ECHO funds were tapped again recently without any involvement from the advisory board. Why?
The advisory board is made up of citizens that represent us. They're fellow taxpayers, Volusia County residents. We have a problem where we have a few people in elected office or certain bureaucratic positions that like to make these decisions without input from the community. That money that they're making decisions on comes from us. It originates with us. We should have our advisory board, which is part of the structure, have more input into what happens with these dollars.
When the total of all fund balances for the last 4 quarters has been a minimum of $391 million and a maximum of $461 million, Why should we borrow $20 million to give it to companies like the Speedway?
Again, obviously, there's plenty of money to do that. I don't know that the agenda that's being laid out has been fully vetted in public. I don't know what's going on, why they're just amassing all these large amounts of cash, but we should, there's a debate as to whether money should have gone to one company that's already existing, that's been around for many years in this county. From what I've seen from the plan, it looks like that is one area where we will get money back eventually from what's being spent there. But what we need to be doing is attracting different types of business that aren't in that same narrow area of big events and entertainment and tourism. We need to be broadening our bases of taxes coming from manufacturing and technology and really targeting that into a part of the county, Southwest Volusia, that has a lot of opportunity for growth and is situated close to the cores in Central Florida that produce those type of jobs.
West Volusia lacks the high-paying jobs that people travel to in Lake Mary and Heathrow. Seminole County also benefits from the property taxes the corporate businesses pay along the I-4 corridor. If Volusia County is going to attract high-paying corporate jobs to West Volusia, the I-4 exit 114 interchange is the last undeveloped tract of land that can realistically take place and be convenient for corporate businesses. How do you see the development of this land taking shape over the next few years? Can you see development such as the new Verizon building in Lake Mary? Can you see that here in Volusia's future? And what do you think would be most beneficial to Volusia County residents?
Yeah, I agree that 114 exit, that's the future of Volusia County, especially Southwest Volusia County. That's the gateway into Volusia County from where all the high-paying jobs in a diversified economy lie. We're kind of known as the bedroom community in Southwest Volusia to Seminole and Orange County, which is interesting because in Seminole County used to be considered the bedroom community to Orange County at one time, especially the southern part of Orange County. Then they built the Maitland Center right on the border of Orange and Seminole County. It became a huge success. They just want to put an office park out where all the employees lived, and they put it there, and it became a huge success that they went out and built out Heathrow, another office complex there, then across I-4 into Lake Mary and the Primera, and then another exit closer to us in Colonial Town Center project. And now they have the Seminole Town Center there. Really the next progression of growth is to jump over the river into Volusia County with those same types of jobs. We're the ones filling those jobs. Every workday, over 80% of our workforce in Southwest Volusia drives over the bridges in the Seminole and Orange County. So we have the educated workforce, the skilled workforce that's going in there and filling those jobs. Our dirt is cheaper in Volusia County. The labor pool is lower than Seminole and Orange County. Seminole County is the third wealthiest county per capita in the state. We need to start looking over the river into Seminole and Orange County and doing more what they're doing to attract that same type of business and the diversified economy that they have and bring it into Southwest Volusia. We are the family-oriented part of the county. There's a lot of opportunity for expansion. We're not really the big event, entertainment, wild party atmosphere that you have maybe on the east side of the county. We're situated very well to blend into what Seminole and Orange County are doing along the ways of economic growth.
Name 3 things that are priorities if you are elected.
Well, number one, obviously, from a lot of my answers, it's economic growth. And I'd like to see us have economic growth all over the county. I have no problem with seeing east side of the county grow and prosper more than already is. But really, we have an untapped resource in Southwest Volusia. I'd like to see us grow. We're talking about exit 114, the Howland Boulevard interchange with I-4. We need to streamline the business approval process and become more business friendly. We have a movie theater. It's a first-class movie theater at that interchange. That gentleman went through 10 years of red tape before he could open his doors and sell his first movie ticket. When you get a bad reputation out there, it's hard to change that. So we need to get people in office that have a business background that understand what makes a favorable business environment. So that's number one. Number two, I'd like to see, especially in Southwest Volusia, you have a lot of nice events on the east side of the county. I'd like to see us do community type events in Southwest Volusia, but privately funded community events. Tying it in with the corporate environment where we get sponsorship there, where they're benefiting by having their name out in a public venue where more people become aware of what they're doing, but also highlighting the natural resources we have. We're on the St. Johns River in Lake Monroe. It lends itself really well to sailing regattas and rowing regattas, also fall festivals. There's a number of different things we can tap into. This past weekend I spent time at the Latin Heritage Festival in Deltona, a huge event, thousands and thousands of people. Vendors were running out of food. The other part of that is, especially in Deltona, we need to get restaurants and just basic businesses into Deltona. Every workday, as I mentioned earlier, 80% of the workforce drives over another bridges to go to work. Well, also we leave the cities to go out to eat. DeBerry has a nicer model, more of a hometown local feel, but Deltonans have a hard time going out to eat at a nice restaurant. They have to leave to at least go to DeBerry, Orange City, or over the bridge into Seminole County to go out and eat. We need to kind of round it out for the city that's the largest in the county, the second largest in Central Florida next to Orlando. There should be a lot more opportunity on the economic front in Deltona.